there you go. Fantastic.
A little bit
Uh,
better, right?
yeah, I like it. So cool. So I'll just edit this video properly. Um, my name is Bowie, and founder of Realtor's Edge, and obviously Michael has been a longtime client so far. So Michael, would you like to introduce yourself? Name, where you're based, how long you've been a realtor for?
Sure. My name's Michael Pacanero. I'm based out of Simcoe County, Ontario, Canada. And I've been a realtor for 3 years, and I was on the operations side for 2 years prior to that.
Lovely. And obviously, Michael, we've been working together for about 6 months now. So how are you finding things so far?
I find that Bowie has been phenomenal with follow-up and touch points as far as keeping me up to date with what's happening with the metrics and performance of the ads that we're putting up. Additionally, the follow-up, every client that comes through is really great at making sure that they're aware of what they're getting into as far as the conversation goes from the ISA calls and from direct bookings. We've had a lot of great conversations with people that have come through Bowie's program.
Love that. Love that. So I kind of just want to, dive a little deeper into that in terms of the quality of the conversations, right, Michael? So, what was it like for you and Natanya prior to working with us? What was your kind of pipeline looking like? What was your business looking like? And kind of what does that look like now?
So our pipeline prior to we are very good at maintaining connections with our pipeline, and it was nowhere near as full as it needed to be. And with your contacts, we've been able to fill up that pipeline and keep me very busy communicating with that pipeline. And not all conversations are going to turn into transactions right away, but as long as we keep that pipeline full with quality leads, they will eventually turn into transactions.
That's right. Love that. So I guess, what do you think the main problem that we're solving for you would be?
Uh, Time spent on lead gen is the big one. So as spring season and summer season rolls around, we get really busy, and lead gen to keep consistency, lead gen is key. And in order to buffer some of that lost time that I would normally spend lead generating, Bowie has really filled that void for me.
Lovely. And I kind of want to, talk about your results, Michael, because it's been really good, right? Like, let's just even talk about the past 5 weeks when we ran your spring
Mhm.
campaign. We got 30 seller leads. Of those 30 leads, we've got 16 appointments. And just to be clear, we focus on seller leads, right? And so that's a 53% ABR appointment booking rate. Of those 16 appointments, Michael, how many of those became listing appointments?
Out of those 16 appointments, probably about 50% of them are listing appointments. I could look up that exact number, but approximately 50% of them were listing appointments, and 50% of them were letters of opinion or just general knowledge. And we all know that anytime somebody's inquiring about the value of their home, that they are eventually going to be interested in selling. So, to me, all of those are opportunities that will turn into listing appointments.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think one of the biggest one was the $2 million property, right? Was that with Kobe, I believe?
Yep. So we have a working on a $2 million waterfront listing that will eventually come to market. They're not going to list this year, but the connection point was wonderful, and as a result of it, we are in relationship with these people long term at this point.
That's perfect. And I just want to be clear because a lot of realtors come in here and saying, "Can you get us listing appointments?" It's like I can't do your job for you, right?
Yeah.
What I can do is tee you up with quality leads, and that's why this is a partnership. Two more questions for you, Michael. I guess just in general, what do you love most about the program or me?
Well, I love your hair, first off. It's amazing. So,
Thank you. Yours
um,
too.
well, thanks, man. Appreciate that. The thing I love about the program is that it is exactly what you say it is. There's no there's no misconceptions or misconstruing what we're getting into as far as the program goes and what it offers and the deliverables that you give. And so it's exactly what I expected. And I love that you spend extra time making sure that we look great on camera, that the quality of our audio is top notch. You make us look really good when we're on camera.
It's the whole point, man. Making you the person for the job, right? And I guess the last question for you is, Michael, what would you say to other agents, team leads, or brokers that would be on the fence with something like this? Because this is new, right? What the system that we run is new, right? So what would you say to them?
I would say you absolutely have to give it a try. I think there's huge opportunity in the way that Bowie runs this program, and you also have to remember that when you give it a try, don't try it for 2 weeks and expect the world to turn. It takes a little bit of time for these algorithms to unfold. So, coming from a marketing background, I understood that getting in with Bowie, so I knew that it was going to be 4, 5, 6 weeks before we really started seeing the activity, and sure enough, it delivered.
Thank you. Amazing. And then lastly, where can folks find you, Michael? Obviously, because we're gonna have all your socials on the bottom of the description. So where can folks find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook. My cell phone is the best way to get a hold of me, and email. It's all monitored all the time through my wife and my assistant Natanya, and she's also the other half that makes me look good. So between Bowie and her, I'm a rock star, but just a mouthpiece.
Amazing, Michael. Listen, I appreciate you having you on at this point. You've been so lovely to work with. This is a great partnership, and I like to continue to keep it moving. But I know you got at 12 o'clock, so I'll let you go. And we'll talk same time next Tuesday for our
Sounds
weekly.
good.
All right,
Thanks so much,
Michael.
Boyd.